Good morning, everybody. BDO 44 coming at you with another video. All right, so the LA Lakers play the Golden State Warriors tonight in Vegas at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. And I expect the Golden State Warriors will start their starters in this particular one. This is a Golden State team that is 4-0 in the preseason, having beaten the likes of the Pistons in the last game, 2 games against the Kings, and I don't remember who the first team was that they beat up on, but they've been having a good time launching threes and playing defense. And whether their starters are out there or not, they still have a lot of talent. So that's the first thing to understand. Your Lakers, of course, coming off of their first win. We're 1-2 in the preseason. Beat the Milwaukee Bucks about a year ago, it seems. The way this preseason has been scheduled hasn't been very fun for us because we've had long rests in between games, and so that we haven't played since Thursday. It is now Tuesday. So yeah, that's what's going on there. We had a fantastic fourth quarter where our hopefuls, third string guys, came in and really took the game back, took it over, and then ran the Milwaukee Bucks out of their own gym. Something we won't soon forget. So that's really what it is, man. We're definitely looking forward to the superstar of that night getting more opportunities. Q is what we call him. Hopefully he can find a way to continue to play as well as he has, so we can find a way to keep him. That's basically what we've been talking about the entire week since it ain't been no basketball played. The last thing we saw was that situation. So since then, there's been so many conversations, good and bad. A lot of Bronny James struggles, conversations going around the Lakers, and it's just, that's just is what it is. 55th overall pick hasn't played very well, and people are excited about that because this is a weird world. But nevertheless, hopefully we can find a way to get him to play better with the minutes he's given, or just cut those minutes entirely like you would anybody else who's a 55th pick and send him to the G League, and that's that. He has a guaranteed contract, you know what I mean, obviously, so there's not going to be any talks of cutting him. But you know what I mean, I think we have more to consider as a team than just what the media wants to talk about. So with that being said, we have some good news on Jared Vanderbilt. I guess a realistic timeline is the beginning of the season. Maybe he might be available for the opener. He's listed as a game time decision tonight, but he will not play for certain. Koloko, I haven't heard anything there, but they got him listed with the same timeline. I don't know if that's a real prediction or not. But he's a game time decision tonight, with the expectations that he probably will not be ready until the beginning of the season, but he hasn't even been cleared yet. So yeah, that's what the situation is there. Traore is also a game time decision. I think a more realistic game time decision, to be honest with you. And Austin Reeves, I believe, is also a game time decision tonight for the Lakers. He did miss the last one after playing 82 games last year. I think they're trying to be a bit more cautious with him since it was said that he may have rolled an ankle in one of the preseason games. So I don't know if we'll see him tonight or not. Not really sure about the starters. They're listed as available, but everything can change in the preseason. But given the fact this game is in Vegas, I do expect we'll see Bron and AD. I do. So hopefully this will be a continued healthy game for them. We're starting to see players go down in the preseason. Paul George hyperextended his knee last night, probably be out for a little while. So it's like that type of thing will make you want to not necessarily play your starters in the preseason. So prayers for good health. But when it comes to the Golden State Warriors, as we've said already, they're launching a lot of threes. They had one game where they shot 52 threes, another game where they shot 48 threes. So you just got to expect for them to launch a lot. They got the personnel to do it, man. That's what it really comes down to. One more name on the injury report. Podziemski for the Warriors is a game-time decision. I'm not sure what he would be dealing with there, but he was the only one that I saw listed. So for their team, I just want to see the Los Angeles Lakers continue to work on the things they said they wanted to work on, which is three-point shooting, continuing to work ourselves into a space where we're not only taking more threes than we have over the last 2 years, but taking quality threes when doing so. Continue to enact the plays that they've been working on in practice. I know they've been practicing a lot. That's a really good thing. So hopefully we can kind of look a bit more sharp out there than we have, and just continue to work on finding ways of getting players involved that are showing signs of life, so to speak. Their third string guys should be getting a bit more minutes in this preseason. We have to see, Quincy more, Olivare. We have to see him more. I want to see him out there with the starters. I want to see if he could play with the second unit. You know what I mean? We got to see if he's the real deal, because what he showed us in 9 minutes of play was that he is. And I want to see him against greater talent. I want to see him against some of the better players. So I think if anything we should do as an organization tonight is try to see if we can get that boy some real minutes with our bigger talent against bigger talent, and make a real decision on him, because at this point, the Lakers are receiving all types of pressure to sign this guy, but we really only have seen him in 9 minutes of play. And so that's what it's about. We got to make sure we know what we're doing with this particular decision. Honestly, if anything, I was very happy to have won the game. I didn't want to go 0-for in the preseason. Obviously, you went up against an undefeated team, Golden State. They're considered the road team, I believe, tonight. Anytime you go to Vegas, it's a Laker town, but Golden State fans are everywhere too. So we're gonna see a lot of fans from both teams at the T-Mobile Arena tonight. I'm not worried about Bron and AD. They look fantastic in the game that they played Phoenix in the first half. They just dominated, even though we didn't take care of business in the second half of that particular game. We got a good, strong sample size of what our starters look like, and they're in rare form, as would be expected, given they played in the Olympics and won gold. Congratulations to our guys there. But there's a theme that's continuing to go on that I've been pointing out, and that is power forwards having big games against our team. It's been going on every game of the preseason. All three of these games, there's a power forward of some sort kicking our tail. Tonight, of course, you got to deal with Jonathan Kuminga. Of course, you got to deal with Draymond Green, Trace Jackson Davis, who's turning out to be a Laker killer early on in his career. I just expect for us to have that same issue, because it's really something that's continuing to happen over and over and over again. So can we put an end to that somehow? Can we scheme ourselves a way to cut these guys off? Bobby Portis got us real bad in the last game. He was basically perfect in the first half, barely missed. Although he's been having an amazing preseason, he really shined against the Lakers. So, can we put an end to this? That's what I'm asking personally. One thing that I've also heard a lot of analysts talk about that we haven't discussed very much is our transition defense. We haven't been getting back as well as we are known to, and a lot of that has to do with us having a bit more emphasis on offensive rebounding. So as a result, it's going to be harder for you to get back if you're going for the board off of missed shots. I think we need to find a way to have a sweet medium where we're able to do both. We don't want to get too eccentric on one end or another. Last year, we were a terrible offensive rebound team because we always got back. And it yielded some positive results, but ultimately gave other teams second chance points. Or rather, kept second chance points from us. So we need to do a better job of, as one analyst described, making a decision. We want to, if you're going to go for the board, go for the board. If you're going to get back, but make sure you're not in no man's land doing nothing. Run the floor hard, and that stands for all players on our team. We have to run the floor hard. Follow Quincy Olivare's energy that he provided, which is a blueprint for what J.J. Redick said he wanted our players to follow. Run hard, play hard, give it all you got. Whether you're guaranteed or not, that is what we need to see. No lollygagging, no jogging. We saw footage of players jogging up the court, not really getting back. Stuff like that is not going to be acceptable if you're serious about being a part of these rotation. JJ said he wants to cut his rotation at some point to 9 players. I don't know if he's going to actually do that, but those who don't run hard will likely not be part of that rotation. So that's something that we saw too much in breakdowns of footage. It's just not acceptable. So more effort out there from our second unit. Our third unit, I didn't have that problem with, and so that's something that needs to be said. We love what we saw from the third unit, guys like Max Lewis, of course, Quincy Olivare, Castleton, Traore, Dalton Connect, who was a part of the third and second unit. We really like what we saw in that last game. Them getting us back in that basketball game was fantastic. It was a lot of hustle, a lot of Quincy, but a whole lot of hustle from everybody else. I loved what I saw from Max Lewis. I yet to see a whole lot that I was proud of in regards to Max Lewis, but that was his best Laker game. Got to the line quite a bit, taking on contact, just being physical out there, and I think that's where he can find his niche. Is continuing to be physical, play hard, get to the line, and let the game flow from the inside out for him, and then work hard on defense. So I love what I saw from Max Lewis. Hopefully we can get some good minutes out of him and continue to feel good about his development going forward. Max Christie, his shot looked great. You know what I mean? We talk a lot about how good he is on the defensive end. We talk a lot about his deficiencies passing the ball, and on creating off of on-ball situations. I just want to see him continue to work on what he needs to work on. We're going to be asking him to do a lot this year. I'd expect he would start if Austin is not out there. And it's a big matchup for him. He's got to deal with people like Moses Moody. I think Andrew Wiggins might have been injured, but is not on the injury report at this point. So I think he might be making his debut tonight if he plays, but I'm not 100% sure. But Wiggins is always a Laker killer. That's something I want people to always remember when going up against the Golden State Warriors, or for some reason he moves on to a different team. Anytime Andrew Wiggins sees purple and gold, his eyes light up and he plays better ball every single time. It's something that I've been seeing every year for years. So we need to understand that if he's on the floor, it's going to be a heightened problem for him, for us on both sides of the floor. We have to keep an eye on Andrew Wiggins anytime he's on the floor. Kevon Looney has been getting more minutes this year. He's in good shape. He's playing good ball. Kind of had a down year for his standards last year, but they are going to need him a bit more this year than they had in years past. So I would expect to see a lot of Kevon Looney for the Golden State Warriors. Jonathan Kuminga is one of their only consistent sources of interior driving and rim pressure, so he's been somebody that you have to pay attention to as well. Talk about power forwards who can kick our tail. He's at the top of the list. You expect for him to go for a lot of points if we don't defend him. Draymond Green, he's going to do a lot of combo stuff. I'd imagine he's only going to play in the first half. Steph Curry, same thing. Steph Curry, greatest shooter ever play. He's anytime Steph and LeBron are on the floor together, it's going to be, box office. So that's one thing that you can just pencil in. It's going to be a lot of buzz in the arena in Vegas when those two are out there. But I don't expect for them both to be out there for too long. I really don't. Of course, Klay Thompson's in Dallas now, so you got Buddy Hield in place, DeAnthony Melton now, Moses Moody, Brandon Podziemski. All of those guys are playing some two-guard, trying to figure out how the rotations will go. Wiggins, so they got a lot of two guards to try to work out. Lindsey Waters, somebody else who's been breaking out, shooting a lot of threes, as we talked about on this channel a couple times. He's a standout in the preseason for me. He's just been playing great ball every time I see highlights of the Golden State Warriors. So keep an eye on Lindsey Waters the third. He will have a very big role tonight, one way or another. So yeah, that's what it really comes down to, man. This is a much deeper Golden State Warrior team than they've been in years past, because not only do they have their young players who are starting to become, rounding the form, all these guys that they've been drafting over the last several years, Podziemskis and Kumingas and Moody's, they're ready to take steps forward. And then you talk about them bringing in guys like Buddy Hield and DeAnthony Melton and Kyle Anderson, and then the retaining of players like Wiggins and Moody, and Kuminga and all these guys. They have so many guys on their team at this point that they can put in rotation. This may be one of the deeper Golden State Warrior teams that we've seen in recent memory. They go all the way down to like 11, 12 deep of guys that can legitimately come in and play for them. And it's a sneaky type of depth, because it's almost like you forget how much they already have, how much they're retaining from years past. And how much of that is really talented. Gary Payton II, another two guard that you got to consider. So they're going to be playing a lot of two guards out of position, small ball, pretty much a good majority of the time. But with that small ball comes the strength of small bigs, if that makes any sense. Kuminga's, Draymond, Trace Jackson Davis, they play bigger than they are. So even though they have a smaller team, they're still gonna be pushing people around that are, that ultimately you would expect bigs to push, and they got several of them. Looney, obviously. So it's like this team, to me, as I said yesterday in my NBA chat video, is a dark horse team in the Western Conference. I personally think they've improved from last year, just based on. I didn't really think that Klay Thompson was really giving them quality minutes anymore, and they had him on the floor quite a bit. This year, you remove that piece, and then you bring in more reliable players at this point. More reliable, do-it-all kind of guys. DeAnthony Melton, Kyle Anderson, Moody's takes steps forward. Podziemski gets more minutes. Buddy Yield is more effective through shooting the three at this point. So I just feel like they got a lot better at the shooting guard position, just because Klay and all the 0-for shooting performances and just kind of the wigging out is now not here, and you have more stability, more options, more depth. So if Wiggins is not available or Gary is not available, you still have so much you can throw at teams. So I just feel like this Golden State Warrior team is going to have much better second and third units than they've had in many years. And Steph's still healthy. Draymond's still giving the prime Draymond minutes. He hasn't really taken too many steps back. And like I said, the young players, Kuminga, Moody, Podziemski, Trace, all stepping forward, ready to really push for minutes in the starting lineups. I just think this is a very, very deep, capable Golden State team. I don't know that they have the top heaviness that they would otherwise need to rise in the Western Conference amongst the trees, but they're going to win regular season games. They're going to beat some people that you would probably expect them not to beat. So, and they're going to win some games when their starters are not available because of the high level play of the young guys who should be starters in some other situations. So it's a dangerous Golden State team. It's no surprise to me that they were undefeated in this preseason. I expect for them to have a good start to the season so long as they can get everybody on the floor in some cohesive way. They play defense. They shoot threes, as we know, and that's a good combination for trying to win basketball games. So I think our three-point shooting diet has to be well put together tonight to compete with them. We can't shoot bad threes, but we can't shoot too few threes tonight if we're going to be successful. And we have to figure out our situation with our rotation. We've had some bad second lineups, to be honest with you. Guys just not really playing up to par. Guys you expect not to play very well. That's our weakness right now is our bench, which is why Quincy Olivari is so important, because if he's going to come in and not have that DNA trait, we can push him up the rankings on our depth chart and maybe get more out of our bench entirely, because that's really what I'm seeing there. I've loved what I've seen from his name is escaping me right now, but the guy we got from Miami, shooting guard, point guard combination, he's been great, basically, is what I'm trying to say. I've loved what I've seen from Gabe Vincent. He's been moving the ball, shooting the three ball well, mid-range shot, all different types of combination things that he's been doing defensively. He's been really playing good defense. He's in great shape, and he looks like himself, and that is a very welcome sign for the LA Lakers. So he has not been a part of the problem in our bench. But it's just from night to night, we just have found that we're a bit less talented than a lot of these teams' benches. And I think that has to do with some of the choices that we're making in using our certain players. I honestly believe that. But, this is going to be a night where I'm sure J.J. Redick's going to switch some things up. We've had almost 5 days to prepare for this particular game. It's going to be a heavy week of basketball. We're going to see the Golden State Warriors again at the end of the week. Got a game with the Suns again, plastered in the middle of that as a back-to-back. We start that process a day from now, so it's, 3 games in 4 nights. It's not going to be easy, but that's what the schedule is going to be over the course of this week. And, I'm excited. I'm excited about the second half of the preseason. I thought we learned a lot in the first half. Found some things we're excited about. Find some things we're not so excited about. And hopefully we can sort it all out. We're still waiting on our bigs to come back. Christian Wood, Vanderbilt, Koloko. Who knows what to expect there. Castleton, hopefully he can get some minutes. Jackson Hayes has been playing some solid ball in this preseason. up and down, but more solid than not. So we're going to be using those guys as bigs. We've seen Anthony Davis and Jackson Hayes on the floor together, which gave us a little bit of excitement about the idea of that AD playing some four. So hopefully we can see a little more of that. Dalton Connects had a pretty good preseason. Definitely love what I saw from him getting offensive rebounds in the Milwaukee game, 6 of them to be exact. Our team had about 15 of those, so we saw drastic improvement there. We got to figure out our turnover situation because I think we've been turning the ball over a little too much in this preseason. A lot of that's because we don't know one another. Running new plays is expected, but I'd like to see that improve tonight against a good defensive Golden State Warrior team. So that's really where my head is, man. I want to see more JHS tonight. You know, I hadn't seen as much from him in the previous game. I thought he was in some lineups that were not very good. He represented the bench that was not very good, but we did see him play a good first game. Hopefully this could be his best game tonight. But you know, that's what it is for him. You know, I just want to see us continue to use the guys that haven't been used very much. And you know, assessing Quincy. That's really what's circled on a lot of fans' minds right now. On our board, we want to see more Quincy. We want to know what we have there. Him getting 9 minutes after that performance is egregious. He's going to have to get probably double that. And so I don't know how you work that into the equation. Maybe you give some guys some rest. Maybe you push some other guys back down the depth chart a little further. But I think that one of the most important things the Lakers need to do is get more data on Quincy. You just got to see what else he can do. You know, see if he can keep this up. See if that was just an anomaly moment where he just played well and then is going to go back to being normal. If he comes back down to earth, that might be something that helps us make a more quality decision. But him playing great and then having 4 days off was the worst possible thing for trying to assess what he's going to give us. But good thing about this for the team is that they see each other in practice every day, so everybody knows how guys are doing and stuff like that. But we still haven't seen them as fans, so we definitely want to see more of Quincy Olivard. So yeah, man, that's really what it is, man. This game I'm looking forward to. This has been a long drag of a weekend without the Lakers. I hated that 4 days off, especially since we had 4 days off before that, leading up to that game, I believe it was. So that's just a lot of non-basketball play, followed by a flurry of games that I just don't agree with the schedule at all. But we're happy we're back tonight at 7 p.m. tip-off. And hopefully the Los Angeles Lakers just get the data they're looking for. It's not really about wins and losses. I really thought it was important that we get that first win so that we know that what we're doing can be successful. Now that that's out the way, I don't think wins are as important anymore for the preseason. It more so than just, for of course, staying healthy and then just getting, you know, experimenting with what it is we need to do, working on what we've been working on in practice and zeroing on the key areas of improvement that JJ has pointed out he wants to see. Body language needs to be good. Of course, we expect that in the preseason. Guys being attentive, paying attention to the coaches and stuff like that, and giving that effort that's necessary. So that's really what it's about, man. Team chemistry is something I'm looking, paying close attention to. Hopefully we can continue to stay close, stay communicative, and do all the things necessary to root for everybody, pick guys off the floor when they're down, stuff like that. I'm always looking for our team to represent properly in that way, and I believe they have done that thus far. So that's where my head goes, man. It's obviously a preseason game, so you do expect for it to be the tale of two halves. The first half probably have the starters in there. The second half probably go to some hopefuls, and hopefully we just keep up the energy and play defense like we did in Milwaukee. You know what I mean? And just take care of what we need to take care of. So that's pretty much what I have to say about this game. Salute the Kobe minute. Excited about it. Not sure what the Lakers are going to be wearing tonight. They don't give us that information, I guess, in the preseason. Maybe we'll start knowing, as I like to tell y'all, what the jerseys our team will be wearing. We just don't know yet. But, we're the home team, so it's not a weekend, so I'd imagine we'd be wearing yellow or road purples, which I haven't been seeing much of around the league. Most of the home teams have been wearing white, which is something I really, really like. So we'll see, man. It'll probably be yellow tonight. Who knows what Golden State will wear, but whatever the case may be, we will see them at 7 p.m. And I know the Golden State Warriors are going to look to stay undefeated, so it would be great if we could find a way to take a win from them and give them their first loss. So that is pretty much what I have for you guys on this game. Of course, I have something at halftime, and as a reaction, there will be a video as well at the end of the game. But for now, that's pretty much it. BDL 44. I thank y'all for watching. Out.